Hello again, everybody. I'm Ed Robinson, and welcome to another edition of Robinson Responds. I'm here to give you some of my thoughts on some things that caught my eye during the seventh Sunday of the 2024 NFL regular season. So let's start off with Sunday Night Football. We had the New York Jets take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. The first half was very close. The second half, not so much. It was all Pittsburgh in the second half as the Steelers would dominate the game and beat the Jets 37-15. So in his first start of the 2024 NFL season, Steelers quarterback Russell Wilson, very effective, completed 16 out of 29 passes for 264 yards, and he had 2 touchdown passes and a rushing touchdown. Also, Najee Harris had 21 carries for 102 yards and a rushing touchdown. George Pickens had 5 catches for 111 yards. On the defensive side, Beanie Bishop recorded 2 interceptions. On the losing end for the Jets, quarterback Aaron Rodgers completed 24 out of 39 passes for 276 yards, a touchdown pass, and 2 interceptions. Breece Hall had 12 carries for 38 yards and a rushing touchdown, and he had 6 catches for 103 yards. Garrett Wilson had 5 catches for 61 yards. Alan Lazard had 4 catches for 58 yards. Devontae Adams had 3 catches for 30 yards in his Jets debut. And Tyler Conklin had a touchdown reception. All right, so first things first. As far as the Steelers are concerned, it was a little shaky in the beginning of the first half. But as going towards halftime, the Steelers, the offense got going, and then they really got going in the second half with the Steelers mashing on the gas and never looking back. And the turning point when Aaron Rodgers attempted a pass to wide receiver Garrett Wilson. Wilson appeared to have make the catch, but then the ball bounced off of his chest. The Steelers get an interception, and that was really the play that turned the tide, and Pittsburgh just mashed on the gas, and they never looked back. Now, during the previous week, when we found out that there was a chance that Russell Wilson may start the Sunday night game against the Jets, I didn't quite believe it at first. I really thought that at first they should have gone with the hot hand, being Justin Fields at the quarterback position. But it goes to show that a lot of us were proven wrong, including myself. Head coach Mike Tomlin making a gutsy call, but right now it appears to be a genius move. And what you have to understand is this. Both of the quarterbacks are completely different. What Justin Fields gives you is athletic ability and keeping the offense on the field. What he doesn't give you is not only arm strength, but he doesn't give you he gives you arm strength, but he doesn't give you an accurate arm. Russell Wilson, he still has the accurate arm. 2 things that made Russell Wilson great during his time in Seattle. Number 1, his athletic ability. Number 1, his ability to throw on the run. And also number 3, the ability to throw the deep ball. When you need to get a deep pass and you need to get down the field, Russell can do that. Russell, can he still throw on the run? He can still throw on the run. He's not as fast as he used to be. He's not Seattle Denver where he was running in and out of the pocket. Running blazing saddles. That's not the Russell that we're dealing with. But Russell can still throw on the run, and he can still throw the deep ball. Those are the things that Justin Fields cannot give you. And I think this is so far turning out to be a smart move and a genius move by Mike Tomlin, considering how the offense needed to get down the field and to get points, especially as we're approaching the middle part of the year and going into the latter part of the season. You want to get offense. You want to score points. And that's what Russell Wilson brings to the table, as well as Russell playing in 2 Super Bowls and winning 1. So not only did we see Russell Wilson play effectively in the Sunday night victory over the Jets, we also saw the power running game that Pittsburgh, that's been their bread and butter for so long. Defense which is what they did, and they balled out as usual on defense, but also the running game. Najee Harris running for over 100 yards and getting a touchdown. So while we saw Pittsburgh turning the tide and making strides with a brand new quarterback that can get the offense downfield, we saw another team continuing a losing streak after so many changes were made. The Jets. When is it? It's never a dull moment with the New York Jets. It's the soap opera that continues. Robert Saleh, fired. In comes Jeff Ulbrich as the interim head coach. And by the way, he's also the defensive coordinator. Nathaniel Hackett, still the offensive coordinator, no longer the play caller. In comes Todd Dowling, the new play caller. So they lose last Monday night to Buffalo. All right. During the week, in comes Devontae Adams. Jets, Raiders, get the deal done. Devontae practices his first game Sunday night against Pittsburgh, 3 catches for 30 yards. Still, we saw little glimpses of Aaron and Devontae's days in Green Bay, but there was a lot of hype behind this. And hey, listen, I'm still hyped up that Aaron and Devontae are playing together once again. And I think they're going to do very well together. I think it's going to be like Green Bay of the old. I just think with some more adjustments, Aaron not running as much as he used to be, with still, battling the Achilles injury. He just came back from the Achilles. He's not going to run as much as he used to, so more passes. He's going to, remain more in the pocket. The offensive line, there's going to be more pressure on him to protect him, especially Tyron Smith as the left tackle protecting Aaron's blind side. But again, the pressure is going to be on. So after the loss Monday night to Buffalo, more changes were made. And then just before the kickoff of the Steelers game, Hassan Reddick ends the holdout. Him and Woody Johnson, along with Jets management, Joe Douglas and company, they were able to work out a brand new deal. So Reddick is at Jets camp as we speak, as this show is airing. Hassan is in a New York Jet uniform, and he's practicing, and he's with his team. So bottom line is this. Do I still have hope for the Jets? Yes, I do. Now, they lost to Pittsburgh on Sunday night. They've got, on paper, a winnable game when they go to Foxborough to take on the New England Patriots. And then they have a Thursday night matchup on Halloween night against a very tough Houston Texans team led by C.J. Stroud and company. So the rest of the schedule, it's kind of favorable for the Jets. Do I believe there's hope? I do believe there's hope. However, I'm seeing the last couple of games, their defense has taken a back seat significantly. We saw it, flashes of the defense taking a back seat last Monday night against Buffalo, and then we definitely saw it in the Sunday night loss to the Steelers with Russell Wilson and company going down the field and just getting the Jets defense apart. So to sum all things up, the Steelers, when we found out that Mike Tomlin was making the decision to switch from Justin Fields to Russell Wilson, I and a lot of people were reluctant at first, but hey, so far so good. They need to get their offense down the field, and they want to score more, and Russell Wilson gives them the best chance of doing that. Not just throwing the deep ball, but also the ability to throw on the run and can get the ball past 10 yards. We've also saw Pittsburgh's running game. Najee Harris is really getting it together. He's picked up his play the last several weeks. Pittsburgh's defense not going anywhere. Everybody's solid, from T.J. Watt to Minka Fitzpatrick, Dante Jackson, Larry Ogunjobi, Beanie Bishop, Cam Hayward, Alex Highsmith. The Pittsburgh's defense is not going anywhere. And what we learned from the Jets is that the Jets, they are a talented team. But they just don't feel like a team right now. There's a lot of finger pointing going on. But hopefully, with Devontae being with the Jets, he can continue to be a mentor to Garrett Wilson, and hopefully they can get it together. I believe they can get it together. But yeah, I guess it's that glimmer of hope, man. And hopefully, listen, Breece Hall has been a security blanket for this Jet offense. Breece Hall has gotten the Jets out of a lot of major jams, specifically Aaron Rodgers. One thing that's been working so far for the offense this year is Rodgers and that screen pass to Breece Hall. It goes from a 5-yard gain to possibly a 50-yard gain and even a touchdown. But the Jets, I still have hope for them, but they got to get it together, because if they don't, it is going to be in an experiment that has failed tremendously. When you get rid of your coach, you bring in Devontae Adams. Now you've got the Hassan Reddick contract taken care of, and that's in the back burner. It's now go time. It's now or never, because now we're approaching the middle part of the season, and there's just no excuses for the New York Jets. No excuses for Aaron Rodgers. No excuses for Woody Johnson, Joe Douglas, and anybody in management. It's just not good. Also, some other things that caught my eye during the 7th Sunday of the NFL season. So we had the Super Bowl rematch between the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers. So the Chiefs beat the 49ers 28-18. Patrick Mahomes and Brock Purdy. Both quarterbacks, statistically, they didn't play well. But the difference was that Mahomes made the big plays when necessary. When Mahomes needed a big throw, he got it done. When he needed to use his legs, he got it done and then some. And then also, too, Kansas City demonstrated resourcefulness with injuries to Isaiah Pacheco and Rashee Rice. Both of those players on injured reserve, but they're still getting it done. With the addition of Kareem Hunt, his second stint with the Chiefs, Kareem Hunt and the running game, very effective in the win over the 49ers. Juju Smith-Schuster got hurt in this game, but Kansas City used other receivers to step up in this situation. Travis Kelce, been okay so far this year. But Noah Gray made some tough catches in that game yesterday against the 49ers. As far as the Niners are concerned, if Kansas City is resourceful and they have a plug-and-play mentality or next man up, it's been tough for San Francisco. Jordan Mason, a good running back, but he's not Christian McCaffrey. Brandon Ayuk suffered an injury. They're saying that the injury is serious. He could be done for the remainder of the year. And you could tell Brock Purdy had a tough day yesterday. It's been kind of a tough go for him not having his all-world running back in Christian McCaffrey. Deebo Samuel was hurt much of the year. They've kind of the 49ers have kind of struggled with not having their pieces, as opposed to Kansas City, where Kansas City is like next man up, very resourceful, and it's a plug and play type of situation where, next man up, we can do this, no problem. Same thing, Mecole Hardman for Kansas City, getting it done, next man up. Xavier Worthy, same situation. But Kansas City is just the defending champions, man. They're still at the peak of their powers right now. And Kansas City's identity the last several years has been defense. Mahomes, Reed, and Kelce, it's still very much a Mahomes, Reed, and Kelce era. But we're also looking at the era of the Chiefs getting an identity on defense. The last couple of years, it's been Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator of Kansas City, galvanizing his guys like Chris Jones and George Karlaftis and Nick Bolton and Shamari Connor, just to name a few on the defensive side. So, yeah, it's still garnered. I mean, Mahomes, Reed, and Kelce, they get the attention, but the defense has really been the one that's been a mainstay for Kansas City the last several years. Also, some other things that caught my eye: the Washington Commanders steamrolled the Carolina Panthers 40-7. For the Commanders, however, in the first quarter, their quarterback, Jaden Daniels, he suffered a rib injury and did not return to the game. Marcus Mariota was his replacement, and Marcus, he shined. He shined bright in this game, and also the running game. Everybody handled their business in this game for the Commanders. So Jaden didn't return to the game after suffering a rib injury. Reports right now is that the good news is that there's no structural damage, there's no fractures, so thing is looking on the up and up for Jaden, and it looks as though right now it appears to be a go for him for the big game coming up next week in Landover, Maryland, against Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears. That's going to be an exciting game, man. The overall number one pick versus the overall number two pick is going to be exciting. But I guess in this case, the Commanders, they didn't want to risk it. Just, let him not return for the remainder of the game. Marcus Mariota, a tried and true veteran, solid backup. You know what his pedigree is. He gets the job done, and certainly was a great replacement for Jaden Daniels. And certainly they want to rest Jaden and make sure he's ready for the big one coming up against the Chicago Bears. So we go from Jaden Daniels to another quarterback, and it's unfortunate. In the Battle of Ohio, the Cincinnati Bengals beat the Cleveland Browns 21-14. In the third quarter, Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson had to be carted off the field after suffering a non-contact injury. And it's in fact true that Watson tore his Achilles, and he is done for the remainder of the season. Now, let me be the first to say, since Deshaun's time with the Houston Texans, it's been a lot of off-the-field issues with the sexual assault allegations, and despite him settling those lawsuits and all of the allegations that have come with this, listen, since he's been the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns, he has not performed at all. He has not lived up to the hype. He's not lived up to the $230 million fully guaranteed. However, I can understand you're not having a liking for somebody. I can understand that you may not be a fan of that person, but what the Cleveland Browns fan base did was just atrocious. As Watson was being put on the cart and he was being carted off the field, fans were cheering. Fans were cheering that he tore his Achilles. And I get it. I understand all of the off-the-field issues that he's had the last several years with the allegations and, the Browns taking a gamble on him, giving the fully guaranteed money. But that's just classless. You just don't do things like that. Again, I understand you don't have to rock with everybody, but it's just the idea that the man suffered an injury. It could be a life-altering situation, and that's just not good. You don't poke fun at somebody during their time of pain, and just what Cleveland Browns fans did was just not good. Not good at all. They cheered him. Fans were cheering that he suffered the injury, and then when he got on the cart being off the field, people were just was not good. Do better, Cleveland. You got to do better. And I know if any city that has had a lot of heartbreaks, a lot of hang-ups, so many disappointments, the city of Cleveland is right at the top. And to cheer a player that suffered an injury and then him being carted off the field, that's not good, man. We've got to do better. I get it. You don't have a liking for someone or somebody. I understand that. That's not a problem at all, but you just don't do that. You just, who knows what's going to happen from here on out. But nevertheless, Cleveland Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson ruptured his Achilles on a non-contact injury in the loss to the Cincinnati Bengals and is done for the rest of the season. And also some other things that caught my eye. The Philadelphia Eagles beat the New York Giants 28-3. Saquon Barkley returns to New York, or should I say to the New Jersey Meadowlands. He had 17 carries for 176 yards and a rushing touchdown, So Saquon handled his business in his return to the New York, New Jersey area. Also, the Detroit Lions beat the Minnesota Vikings in a very close game. Also, in another close game, the Green Bay Packers beat the Houston Texans with a game-winning field goal by Brandon McManus. And then there was the London game with the New England Patriots going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville would hold on to win, beating the Patriots 32-16. So again, just as far as the injury front is concerned, Jaden Daniels, quarterback for the Commanders, suffered a rib injury, did not return to the game against the Panthers, but it appears that he's going to be ready for the Commanders' next game against the Chicago Bears. As far as Cleveland is concerned, quarterback Deshaun Watson is done for the year after tearing his Achilles on a non-contact injury. And Russell Wilson looked good in the Sunday Night Football win with the Steelers beating the Jets 37-15.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning into the channel. Remember to click like, share, and subscribe, and thank you for watching.